Today we're going to be talking about the difference between love you and I love you. The difference between love you and I love you is the same as the difference between having a conversation with your feet pointed at somebody and your feet pointed away from somebody. Listen up, because that's a life hack. Wherever your feet are pointed, that's where your attention is subconsciously. It's kind of like a tell. In poker, you know how there's tells? So if the I in I love you is like the direction in which your feet are pointed, then I love you means your feet are pointed at the person that you're telling that to. What does that mean? What does that mean? There is a psychology professor at the University of Austin, Texas, named Dr. Pennebaker. Dr. Pennebaker is interested in what pronouns really mean, what they really represent, why we use them subconsciously. Dr. Pennebaker's research indicates that people who use I more frequently are more self-conscious. They're thinking about themselves rather than the situation, rather than the person, the context. So people who use I less in a conversation tend to be higher status. Pennebaker actually analyzed this in his own emails and found that when students were talking to him, they were using I a lot more than him. When he was talking to a higher ranking professor, he was using I a lot more than the higher ranking professor. The reason why is because if you're using I frequently, you're being self-conscious. You are thinking about how you look to the other person because maybe you don't want to leave a bad impression. Another thing, people who use I are more honest communicators. So people who use I tend to be lower status, but more honest communicators. High status people tend to use we more frequently than I. People who are hiding the truth avoid the word I. The difference between love you and I love you is that with I love you, the person is taking ownership of the phrase. They are personally saying, I can confirm that this is true. If they don't say I, then they're basically saying, I think that this phrase is dangerous and I don't want to be affiliated with it. I don't want to be caught. I don't want to be discovered. I don't want to take ownership. I love you means your feet are pointed at the person that you're telling that to, or saying that to. I'm sorry, I'm a word nerd. I can't afford to be making these fuck ups. You're not telling, you're saying this to somebody. And it's hard to explain what the difference is between telling and saying, but I will look into it and get back to you guys in a few weeks.